Welcome back to the first module of our course on how to survive in a downturn. Now, in the first module, it's very critical for all of us to decide the correct starting point of this journey. And that's where I have chosen the self-confidence, the belief that you should have in yourself that I can become successful even in difficult times should be the correct starting point of this journey. Because everything starts from that core belief. Because if you don't have that belief, you will never become successful. And that's the reason it's very important for us to understand, for you to understand the meaning of self-confidence and how you can build that self-confidence even in a situation where everything is going against you, where there is so much negativity, where people are losing jobs, where companies are not doing well. Still, how can you build that self-confidence, build that belief inside you? And that's exactly what we are going to cover in this module. So let me share my screen with you, and then we will try to understand first the meaning of self-confidence and then how we can build that. So it's a belief in oneself, right? In your own abilities. That is what is self-confidence. So it can be described as faith in one's own abilities, right? Even in the most difficult of times. Now, confident people trust their own abilities, and that's the most important trait that they have. That even when the times are difficult, they don't start believing that I cannot do this. They always have that belief that they can do what they want or what is the right thing to do, and they can still become successful even in the worst of times. And they generally have a sense of control over their lives and believe that they are able to achieve and deliver whatever they desire to achieve for themselves. And that is a great sign of success. Now, the whole objective of sharing this definition with you is to give you that thought, that idea that you also must set the starting point for yourself in these difficult times. And that is the only way to become successful when things are not working for you. So don't lose that belief. Have that faith that I can still become successful. And why it is important? We also need to understand that. It is important because it's the most important ability, the trait that you can have in difficult times. It's a phenomenal strength that one can have, which can give him or her success in the long term. And it integrates the power of body with mind and focuses them towards the achievement of your goal. Because there's a science behind it. It's all about creating that power within, that integration of thought within your body and mind, because that makes you really go in the right direction. And that's what I would urge you to start building in yourself. Because first, as you understand that this is one trait which is very important, you must focus on building that. And you also must understand the process through which it can get built. And what you also see in this slide is what are the steps that you can take to become more confident. Now, the first one, which is the very obvious one, is to turn off the media. Because there is so much negativity that media communicates to you. And even while there is a desire to consume media on a regular basis, ultimately you will realize that successful people limit media in their own lives so that they don't get affected by whatever is being said about them, whatever is happening in the world, whatever negativity which media is spreading all around. And media has a tendency to focus on the negativity of any aspect, any news. And and there's a psychology behind it, because anything negative attracts attention. And every media outlet wants attention. And that's why they spread this negativity. So the first step is to cut off media from your lives. Limit it. Don't consume too much of media. And then start building your own understanding, right, of yourself. Because you need to know what skills, what capabilities you have. And that will help you build that confidence, because sometimes we don't understand ourselves. We don't really understand our abilities. So there is a process of self-discovery which is required to build that confidence. And that will also help you build that positive self-image, because we have a tendency to look down on ourselves. And this is a very normal tendency in our society also, because you would remember, as all of us were growing up, people would always, even our parents would always compare ourselves with somebody else and give us examples that somebody else is doing better than you, somebody else is getting more marks than you. It's a very normal tendency. And what it does is, psychologically, it doesn't help you in terms of building a positive self-image of yourself. Because we always have a tendency to start believing that I am not that good, somebody else is better than me. It's very important to come out of that belief, because if you don't come out of that belief, ultimately it will be very difficult for you to face difficult times. Because when you have negativity around you, it will reinforce that belief in you that you are not so good, and that's why you can't become successful in difficult times. So you have to come out of that situation. So you have to stop comparing. Have faith in your own abilities. First, understand your own abilities and then have faith in them. We all have some unique capabilities. We all have some unique skills which can make us successful during all times. And we need to know those skills. We need to know those capabilities. Figure that out. And then stop comparing yourself with others, because you are very different. You are gifted with the abilities that you have. Somebody else could be gifted with some other abilities. So everybody is unique. Stop comparing. And then finally, set goals. Because if you don't set goals, then it will not ultimately help you in terms of reaching your destination. Because your destination has to be very clearly defined, where you want to go. Because if you don't have your destination in mind, how will you reach there? So these are the 5 steps that you need to take to start building self-confidence inside you. Let's move further. Now, it's not just about having confidence, right? Because confidence without competencies is nothing. So you need to build your competencies also, because having understood where you stand today, you also need to understand what competencies I lack to become successful. And that's where you need to improve those competencies and put them into practice. And that will start giving you results. And we'll run through this whole process. In fact, there's a small exercise which is given below this video, which you need to complete, where you need to start identifying what actions you will take for yourself in all the 5 steps that we spoke about on the previous slide, and then how they will help you in terms of improving your competencies, putting them into practice and getting results. And ultimately, you will become more confident, and this whole cycle has to repeat itself continuously. Because it's a continuous improvement process that you have to put yourself onto. And that will keep giving you success again and again over the cycle of your career and life. So this is how we need to understand self-confidence. We need to take those 5 steps to build it. And then we need to put that into practice so that it can start giving results. Now, my request to all of you is you must follow the exercise which is given below. And you need to complete that in order to understand your own capabilities, in order to understand your own unique skill sets that you have and how you can put them in practice. Because that is the first step, which is extremely critical if you want to become successful in difficult times in a situation of downturn. So once you complete that, then we will move to the next module and I will see you there. Thank you.